Have you ever wondered how magazines and newspapers they create the charts to present to us? And they seem to be very difficult and very fancy, but using Excel you can get most of the result, and I'm going to show you how we can create something very similar to the Economist news about Donald Trump's tariff on some countries. The first thing that I want to highlight is that if you try to select this whole data, go in search and try to create a chart, you're not going to get something very similar. But let me show you a trick. But if you select just the data from the countries, go in search, the first thing that you need to select which type of chart do you want to select, and it's very hard to just by those small icons identify which type of chart they are using. They are kind of using this area to represent which type of percentage they have under the market, and this one is under the lines. But even if you don't know, once you click on the lines, you get some options. Even if you don't find, under any of those icons, you have this more columns chart or more lines charts. Then you get this whole option here with all the possibilities from the charts from Excel. And for this one, I know that this area, and it's more towards these stacked areas where we can see one area after another. Where we are going to see the areas represent a whole. I'm going to hit OK. The first thing that I'm going to do here is to bring now the years, because the way that I created the chart, it present as a sequence like 1, 2, 3, 4, because Excel represent as those index, but in this case I want to bring the years. To do this, I can select the chart. Under the chart design, I can go in the icon, select data. And here I have the option to change the horizontal axis. If I change to edit and now select the years, now as I can see, I got the years here underneath on my horizontal axis. I can also delete this legend. For the vertical axis, I can select, and if I double click, probably for you will appear on the right hand side, but you can select and drag towards where you want to see this pop-up window. And the first thing that I'm going to change is that here the boundaries from this chart, it's go up to 120, but in this case it goes just up to 100. But once I change this, it also changed the units. This major unit represents those numbers here, and as you can see on the Economist chart, it goes 20 by 20. So if I change it to 20 here, I got, as we can see on the chart right there. I still can change the position where the axis is going to appear. It's still under this column axis option here. I expanded the section labels, and here I change it to high to send to the other side. So now I want you to change the lines to match with the years that I have. Now I can select the years axis, still under those columns option. Now I go under tick mark, and if I go to outside, I can see that I have some options right there for the minor. I'm going to remove this one to present just the major axis. Now it's harder to see. I can go under this bucket to change the color. I'm going to change this one to black. I can also change the width of this line to be more representative for me. We are getting very close to what we have from the chart. Now we just need to change the colors. For example, I can highlight one of those areas, go under the bucket, fill, solid, and now I can change the color to whatever match with my example chart. I can expand the section border, change it to solid, change the color to white, and maybe change a little bit the width to get something close to whatever I have in my example. I could spend more time to get something very, very close to whatever I have, but for me that's okay. For this example, I guess that's enough, or I would spend a lot of time. Maybe I also blind. Now I'm missing another step here. The background from this chart is like badge or something. I can highlight my chart. It's still under this panel. Under the fill section, I can choose solid, and now I can get this color like beige to get something more visual or better to see here. And the last part that I want to present is how you can get the chart title. So the best way to do this is by changing this dynamically. You could change here the information, but the right way for me is by changing here like a formula. You can go equals and select a region from your chart. And from the cell that you have selected, then you can change to whatever you want. That's much better because maybe you want to duplicate the chart, maybe you want to present to your boss and then they are going to get a different name. So to save your time, do this dynamically. In the same way, I'm going to get here my legend using the same picture, but now I'm going to insert a shape, select this option. I can create this rectangle, go here again under my formula bar, equals, and select my first country, for example, China. I can expand this I can also go under shape format, this new tab here on the top ribbon. I can choose the shape fill to no fill to have this no fill background, and also the shape. If I click outside, I have this small line here. It's not what I'm looking for. I can go to the shape outline and remove the outline. You could also change the color. It's still in the same tab. You can take, for example, white for this case, and now you can simply copy and paste the information to the position that you want you to have this shown. And now you just change the formula here on the top. For example, this one is order. And the last part that we have here on this chart is this small indication here. It's still under insert, shape, and line. So we can take here the shape and drag there, change the color to black. And if I select this line, right click, format shape, I got the same tab that I can change most of the designs inside Excel. And here towards the end, I have the beginning for my arrow. I can change this to this round beginning indication. So now I have something very similar to whatever they have created by the Economist. If you need more tips or clues how you can improve in your Excel abilities, follow me for more.